Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Women's Basketball Edition and the first of 2018. Hope you had a happy new year. And with me for the first episode of 2018 is none other than the sophomore guard on the women's basketball team, Carly Polisso. Carly, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. A unique piece of trivia on you so far is that throughout your Menlo career, the only points that you have scored have all come from outside the three-point line. You really seem to like to get it and shoot, don't you?
Yes, I do. I've come from a family of shooters. My sisters both broke three-point records at their high school.
Okay.
And I've just been shooting from out there since I was super little, so it's just natural.
Now, did you get a chance to break that record?
I did not. I did not make as many as they did because I was a point guard.
Okay.
They were more of shooting guards.
Okay.
So
different position.
I was more of a distributor, but I could still shoot.
Okay, you're off the hook there for that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure here at Menlo now it really helps that you have the ability to shoot the ball like you do because you have such good post players who draw a lot of attention all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you come from Los Gatos, so you've always been here in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
What made Menlo College a place you wanted to go to, and what was the recruiting process with Shannon Spataro like?
I actually didn't have the same recruiting process as most people. I actually reached out first, and I got to come. I was lucky enough, she invited me to an open gym where I got to try out, basically, and right after she said that she would love to have me, so it was awesome. I loved that it was so close to home. We support each other in my family, so it's awesome that I can drive a couple miles down the freeway and I can catch my brother's games. He's a senior in high school, so it's really cool that I get to see the end of that career as well.
Yeah, right. Going home whenever you want, I'm sure, is a really nice luxury.
Home-cooked meals. And
yeah, don't remind me about that. That was the biggest thing I missed for sure. Even though I'm from Salinas, so it's not that far away, it's still enough of a drive where you have to commit to it as opposed to Los Gatos where you're literally no traffic, 15 minutes? Probably.
With no traffic.
Which never happens.
More like 20, 25.
Okay.
But yeah.
But you're within half an hour.
Yeah.
And you're maybe 15 miles, so that's still.
It is nice.
That's really nice.
Free laundry.
Oh, well, it's free here too.
Well, yeah.
You just have to do it.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
So it's not free in terms of time.
Yeah.
Now, you've been mentioned on this show, I don't remember who said it exactly, but that maybe you would be potentially afraid of horseback riding.
Yes,
have you ever ridden a horse before?
I have ridden horses. My whole life up until I haven't been able to do it as much, but I absolutely love horseback riding.
Okay.
I think whoever said it was probably saying it because they are so much bigger than me and I'm so small. But I really enjoy horses.
But that is not a fear that you have. Okay, so
No.
that's good to know. Do you have any major fears?
I don't think I have any major fears. Maybe the dark.
Maybe the dark?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say it was major.
Well, good thing I got the lights on full blast in here, so that's good.
Nice and bright.
That's good. I'm accommodating. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the team now. 2018 got off to a great start for Menlo College. The Oaks got into the 26th spot in the national rankings, just one away from actually being ranked instead of just having that RV designation. Was this at all discussed by the team about trying to crack into the top 25?
It was. Obviously, when we saw that we were receiving votes and we saw it next to our name, we got super excited. We were really, every team, any team, not just us, that's what you're working towards. You want to be the top. You want to be the top of the barrel. You want to be the best that you can be. So yes, it was discussed, but at the same time, we go into every game, whoever we're playing, and we don't really see the number next to their name. We go in and we're just trying to be our best all the time.
And that's kind of how it seemed like you were playing in the last couple of games. Conference play underway, and right away you faced two top 15 teams in the nation, the Masters and Westmont. You beat the Masters on the road, convincing fashion. What helped you ladies start off conference play on such a winning and high note?
I think our really successful preseason it really gave us a lot of confidence going into conference. And we just came in, we were locked in. Our shooters were just knocking down everything. Selena and Ashlyn and the post players were working really hard, keeping the girls. They were just moving the post around in there. It was crazy. It was awesome. It was super fun.
Yeah, and it seemed like one thing you guys did in that game better than the Masters, much better than they did, was the way you were able to play up-tempo. And when you guys are running up and down the floor, it doesn't seem like there are many teams in the country that can compete with that. Does that give you such a large advantage over the opposition, knowing that other teams just can't keep up with your pace?
Yes, I think so. And we kind of not that we know it, but we know that if we push and we go hard, we know that they're getting tired. And it's almost kind of fun to be like, okay, well, we're not tired. We're going to keep running.
Yeah,
So.
you're used to that. The
Yeah.
only team that I think could compete with tempo because they play faster than anybody I've ever seen was Olivet Nazarene last year. I know you were on the team during that game. Their offensive style is called Tiger Ball, and it was remarkable to see full out sprinting back and forth the entire game, both sides. They're making line shifts every 30 seconds, and you guys still came out on top.
Yep, we can run.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it.
You can
That's
compete
all
with
it
the best
comes
of
down
them.
to. Yeah.
Now, the Westmont game was really the first time all season that you guys did not have an offensive outburst. You only put up 51 points in the game. Westmont only scored 60, so it was still a defensive struggle. But how were they able to neutralize what you guys do so well?
They had they have really good, strong post players who were getting a lot of offensive boards, which was giving them pretty easy offensive putbacks, which was making it so they could get back on defense, and they really slowed us down. We couldn't play our up tempo, get up and down as fast as we normally do. They just did a really good job of slowing us down.
Yeah, and it's tough, I'm sure, when they're always taking 30 seconds every single possession. They miss a shot, offensive rebound, like you said, take another 30 seconds. You're on defense for a full minute at a time, and then you're going back maybe playing offense for 15, 20, and then right back to a minute on defense again.
And they're very, very patient. They used the shot clock. They didn't score till there was 5 seconds on the shot clock. A lot of the time.
Almost every single time, yeah. Now this week, there's a big game. It's on Saturday. Of course, all games are big games. I don't need to tell you that. But the big one, Saturday. The number one team in the nation comes to town, Vanguard University. How big of a circle is there around the calendar for you ladies for Saturday's game?
I think, well, just because they're number one, they automatically have a circle.
Yeah.
On the calendar, but I think that, just like I said earlier, we don't see number one next to Vanguard. We see another team, they lace their shoes up just like we do, they shoot the ball just like we do, and we're just going to play basketball and we're going to battle. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
So make sure if you're in the area, folks, come on out. Thursday night, ball game against Hope. Saturday, 2 o'clock, the big one against Vanguard, number one team in the nation. We'll get to see how good these Oaks really are in that contest. All right, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 random off-the-wall questions. You give me your best answers.
All right.
Question number 1. Which teammate is the worst at keeping a New Year's resolution?
I'm going to say Jessica Rogers, because I know she tells me all the time, she tries to grow her nails out all the time.
Okay.
But whenever she gets stressed, she tends to bite her nails. So I'm not really sure what her New Year's resolution was, but if that was it, she'd be the first to break
Okay.
it.
I also think it wouldn't work too well in a basketball sense.
Yeah, that's why I always ask her, why are you trying to grow your nails out?
How are you going to
You're going to get stressed.
even in the off season, I feel like she's still going to be shooting the basketball. You don't want to be shooting with those things. You're just going to break them.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Question number 2. Which teammate most likes to pop bubble wrap?
Probably Destiny.
Okay.
Just because I feel like she would be amused. She gets amused very easily by little things, and I feel like she would just have fun with that.
Okay, good answer. And then question number 3. In light of the earthquake we had over the weekend, it was about a 4.4 earthquake, I think, over in Berkeley. Which teammate hates earthquakes the most?
I would say probably Lexi.
Okay.
I don't know why. I remember them talking about it because they felt it and their phones were falling, and I can't really remember if she was in that conversation, but I think she was pretty scared by it.
If she was in the conversation, her voice is trembling as she's saying it, right?
Yes.
You can tell there's a little bit of nervousness when
Yes.
she's talking about earthquakes.
Destiny also had a hard time with the earthquake.
Okay.
Yeah, that made her a little nervous.
That's interesting because she's taller and bigger than everybody
Yeah.
else. I would think maybe the smaller people might be a little bit freaked out. But then again, if you're taller, you can't cover as well.
Yeah.
So maybe
I don't know.
Maybe that's why.
I was at home and it was so bad that it opened our front door.
It opened your front door.
Yeah, like rattled it open.
You didn't have it locked?
And we must have not had it locked.
Wow. Did
Yeah.
it wake you up?
It did. And then my sister came in and was like, "Did you feel that?" And I was like, "Yeah, did you feel that?" She's like, "We're okay." And I was like, "Yeah, we're good."
And then probably like 5 seconds later,
We were
back to sleep. Yeah, I was the same thing. I woke up long enough to realize what was happening, and then I think probably within seconds of it being
back
over,
out.
I'm back to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done with this.
that was
just
fun.
yeah, rudely interrupted my slumber at 2:40 in the morning. All right, Carly, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, folks. The Oaks are at home this week, and it's the first home week for them in the Golden State Athletic Conference. A couple of big matchups on hand. Thursday night, they'll kick off a doubleheader against Hope International starting at 5:30 before the men's game is underway at 7:30. And then the big one on Saturday, 2 o'clock inside Haynes Prim Pavilion. The Oaks welcome in the Lions of Vanguard University. They are currently ranked the #1 team in the nation and have been for multiple polls in a row. So that's going to be a big one. If you can't make it out to Haynes Prim Pavilion, both contests and all weekend long, all season long, will be streamed live on the Menlo College Sports Network. We invite you to tune into next week's show when Carly Polisso will select the next interviewee by me, Brian Brownfield, right here on Unrooted Women's Basketball Edition. Until then, we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Those dreams you're dreaming come true.